What is up, guys? Delboy here. So, as we all expected, Deontay Wilder will fight Dominic Breazeale in his next fight. The fight goes down on the 18th of May and it takes place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. In the United States, this fight will be on Showtime, not pay-per-view, regular Showtime, and in the UK, I am presuming this is going to be on regular ITV, probably ITV4. So that's good news. This fight is free to air on regular TV because they were talking about putting this on pay-per-view, but I'm glad they've seen the light and it's on regular TV. Yeah, the fight itself, I've already kind of made my thoughts clear on it. Because it's a mandatory, I've not really got a problem with it, to be honest. I mean, for fighters, if they can't unify, or they're not unifying, my minimum expectations are for them to either fight a top 10 contender or a mandatory challenger. And that's what Dominic Breazeale is. So I'm not going to criticise Wilder for taking this fight. Regardless of whether Wilder fought on DAZN or Showtime, this was always the fight that was going to happen next. So I'm not really criticising Wilder on the choice of opponent. This was always going to happen. I am disappointed he chose to reject the DAZN deal because it was a direct route to Anthony Joshua. You know, he turned down big money to fight on DAZN. I believe it was a $100 million deal for 3 fights, 1 against Breazeale and 2 against Joshua. So that is really disappointing. And listen, it doesn't kill the fight can still happen, but it just makes it that bit harder to make. So naturally, I'm a bit disappointed in that news, you know. I want to see this fight happen as soon as possible. It needs to happen, you know, it's overdue. Let's get this fight made while both fighters are in their primes. But yeah, we're stuck with Dominic Breazeale in the meantime. At least it's on free TV, that's a good thing. And, you know, the fight itself, despite it not being the fight we wanted, however long this fight lasts, I think it will be a fun watch. I think it's going to be a fun fight because Dominic Breazeale, you know, he does come to fight. He's a big guy, he's 6'7", he does carry some punching power, he's wild, he's raw, he's rugged, he's durable. He's going to come to fight. And when you mesh that type of style with Deontay Wilder's, I do believe we are going to get fireworks. I'm expecting this to be a fun fight, but I believe stylistically it does favour Deontay Wilder. You know, Deontay Wilder, a big power puncher, he's tall, he's long, he's got a good jab when he uses it. He can deliver a really good straight right hand. You know, Dominic Breazeale, he's a guy who likes to come forward and kind of wing punches. You know, he's got a lot of overhand, he's got a lot of hooks. He punches very wide. And for a straight puncher, that is ideal because they can reach the target before their opponents. The straight puncher can counter a guy like Dominic Breazeale. We saw that in the Anthony Joshua fight. You know, Breazeale was getting countered to death in that fight. And also even in the Izzy Agono fight, which Breazeale won. I mean, he was getting countered quite a lot in that fight by straight punches. And as we know, Deontay Wilder has one of the best straight right hands in the game. And also a good long jab as well. So, listen, the openings are going to be there for Deontay Wilder, and I expect him to take them. I believe, stylistically, this fight is a good matchup for Deontay Wilder to look good against, to be quite honest. And I expect Deontay Wilder to score the knockout in this fight. The only thing Deontay Wilder needs to be careful of in this fight is not to get injured, because as we know in the past, Deontay Wilder has actually picked up quite a few injuries. You know, hand injuries, arm injuries, you know, things like that. And against a tough, durable guy like Dominic Breazeale, I actually think it's more likely to pick up those type of injuries. So in this fight, I think Wilder, he needs to be conservative, he needs to be precise, make sure he maintains good punch technique, and he should be okay. I think guys like Wilder pick up injuries more often than not because their punch technique isn't always the best. You know, if you watch Deontay Wilder, he can deliver a mean jab and a mean straight right hand, but sometimes he kind of loses his composure, and you know he'll throw wide shots that land with the inside of a glove. You know, he'll have poor punch technique, and when you do things like this, you're more at risk of picking up injuries. You know, wrist injuries, arm injuries, hand injuries, things like that. So in a fight like this against a tough, durable guy, I think Deontay, you know, he needs to maintain good composure. He needs to maintain good technique, because the openings will be there for him. Breazeale isn't quick. You know, he's not a guy who has quick feet or quick hands. So Deontay, just take your time, use that jab, look for those openings with that straight right hand, and he should be okay. But don't brawl. Don't get involved in a street fight, because he's going to be more likely to pick up an injury. I think Wilder is kind of similar to Joe Calzaghe in that sense. Joe Calzaghe was a guy who, you know, didn't always have the best punch technique, and as a result he kind of picked up a lot of injuries. And yeah, Deontay Wilder needs to be minimising the chances of picking up injuries, and he can do that by boxing with you know, with good technique. So that's something he needs to look at in this fight, and I kind of think that's Breazeale's only chance. It's if Deontay gets injured and whether Dominic can capitalise on it. But yeah, all in all, I think this fight should be relatively straightforward for Deontay Wilder, and yeah, he should win this one, you know, by knockout. Share your thoughts below. What do you think of this fight? What do you make of Deontay Wilder turning down $100 million to fight on DAZN? Share your thoughts below. Peace.